We are now streaming on Twitch, and I am testing the audio on Twitch.
I love because my phone gives me an alert that we've gone live on Twitch when you and I go live on Twitch. Like, hey, you want to watch? Tune in, it'll be fun.
We have audio on Twitch. I think they finally fixed that bug. We haven't had it happen in a long time.
Cool.
So, all right, Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
What the hell is on the show this week?
We have a pre-recorded interview with Quartet coming up later in the show. I never heard back from Jefferson DeLeone. I did send him the link, so maybe he'll show, but I have a feeling he will not. For those who didn't make the connection, and I don't see why you would, I don't think he said it anywhere, he is the artist formerly known as Powered by Satan, a.k.a. Flibberty Gibbet. So I guess he is just performing under his legal name now. I'm assuming that's his legal name. I honestly don't know. But welcome to episode 703 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, December 7th, 2023. The title of this week's episode is Second Bear. So, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the key way to build an audience is to change the name of your group at least every 1 to 2 years.
Yes. Worked beautifully for me. Like at the height of my career, I changed the name and it's been all downhill ever since. All right, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Let me see. Let's see. Dumb day job. Oh, I went to LA ComiCon, which was... basically, I had already planned on spending the back half of the day with Tony and friends, and since LA Comic-Con was happening, I'm like, well, maybe I'll, buy one of their Black Friday sale tickets and go and just be there for the first part of the day so I can go see some of my cosplayer and artist friends and also maybe do a little bit of shopping. And that's basically what I did. I didn't get to see quite as much as, well, I didn't realize that, and I don't know how new this is, like the main dealer room was and is like the big main part of the LA Convention Center, but they moved where you get your badges to the west side of the convention center across the street. There's like, either you can cross the street or you can take a sky tunnel, whatever, walk over. But they moved over there, like you buy the badges over there, and then when you buy the badges, you walk into more dealer room. Like they put that, so it's like they have like 1 1/4 dealer room, and the other fourth is over there. So I got through that whole section of dealer room because I didn't want to like come back and forth, which I didn't realize I was going to have to do anyway later. But then after I did that, I went over to the other side. I saw my cosplayer friends, and I saw my artist friends, and by the time I got done seeing all of them, Santana had showed up on her own, and she needed me to run a badge to her that she was getting from somebody else, so I ended up having to walk all the way back over there anyway. And it's like by the time I, found her and got the badge and got all the way back, it was kind of about time for me to leave anyway, so I could go meet up with Tony and them. So I didn't buy too much except for a couple of things from a couple of my friends there because I like to support my friends. And then for those of you who listen to Tony's podcast, Escape from Vault Disney, the Disney Plus review podcast, there has been a person who has been a guest on that show several times, a mad scientist character lady by the name of Agatha Vile. And she experiments on crabs and therefore is famous for her crab experiments, which is often said like, crab experiments, which is a reference to her first appearance on the show. So you can all look up that, history for yourself. But the overall significant thing is that She lives in Ohio, and none of us had ever actually met her in person before. She was just solely an internet friend. Well, her and her sister and her sister's husband all came out to LA for the week. So I took a couple days off of work to make sure I had a chance to see them and hang out with them. So Saturday evening, people met up here, and then we all went out to Cantor's Deli and had a nice, awesome meal there. And then the next day, we went to Universal, and I finally got to ride the Mario Kart ride, and holy crap, that was amazing.
Nice.
It was like, I've been saying, Disney's Rise of the Resistance is like the best, theme park ride ever. And this Mario Kart ride, like it, I kind of have to ride it a couple more times to be sure, but I can't really think of it. It's just, wow. It's just mind blowing because it's an actual game that you're playing while you're riding it. And I talk about it in detail on the forthcoming episode of Kyle Luke Talk About Tunes, which will come out this Sunday. So you can listen for that. But yeah, it's America's only augmented reality ride game. And it was mind blowing. I was so psyched after getting up that game that I bought a T-shirt and a Princess Peach doll. That's how psyched I was. And I don't jump to buying merch, like that too quickly. Like that whole, rides leave through the gift shop and they're supposed to psych you into buying merch. It's like, I mean, I buy merch, but that particular thing typically doesn't work on me. But this time it was like, hell yes, get me a T-shirt immediately. I need to be, yeah. So that was awesome, and we did a whole bunch of other stuff at Universal too, which was great. Let's see, and then as of now, I have not heard back from Knott's Berry Farm about that job I was applying to get. So my assumption is that I didn't get the job. So oh well, at least I tried something and got an experience from it. Again, did some more work at my day job. And then today, Santana left to fly back to the East Coast again. So
she's
Santana
a mover and a shaker,
Yeah, she will once again be gone for like a month. So yeah, it's hilarious, but at least I got to hang out with her the past week. We watched the rest of the season 1 of Gen V on Amazon, and that was pretty epic for those who watch the show The Boys. That's the spinoff of The Boys, superhero show. So anyway, and I've spent today. I had off. We recorded the Tunes podcast earlier, and I'm trying to get myself motivated to actually get some practical things done today, so I haven't completely wasted my day. So that's about it. What have you been up to?
Also trying to get myself motivated to get things done, but my big project has been this. This is the FuMP Desecrates
Yay!
Tom Lehrer. This is the master CD. It's ready. It's not ready for sale yet. I was hoping it to be able to announce it tonight, but I'm waiting to hear back. I'm doing the insert of the layout, and I'm waiting to hear back from a couple people about photos to use on the inside. But other than that, it's done. So keep an eye on the store. It should be going up soon for sale, or at least pre-order. The fact that this is done means I finished my song, which was New Math. And wow, pulling teeth. Getting me to sound good while singing is a challenge. And even that's really simple chorus on New Math. Like, I did it the first time just on my own, singing along to the music, and I'm listening back to it, and I'm like, it's close. Like, it's not terrible, but I can hear that some of the notes are off, and some of them are way off. And I'm like, all right, well, let me run it by Shoebox. And he goes, yeah, it's off. I really recommend you re-record this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm planning to. Can you record a guide track for me? Because, I can sing along with other people. As long as the other person is in key, I can usually follow along pretty well. And he would have, except he was too busy. Because, the reason Shoebox isn't on the show live tonight is because he's actually in New Jersey. He's down in Edison right now, which is about an hour and a half south of me. So it was, far enough away that we couldn't get together. But so he's at his job doing something there, and he was like frantically getting ready to leave, and there was all kinds of stuff going on. So he was like, I'm sorry, I just don't have the time. And I said, that's fine, I'll ask Chris. You know, you're not the only friend of mine who can sing well. So I sent the song to Chris, and he's like, yeah, I mean, you're almost there. There's a couple of the notes that are off, but I mean, yeah, here. And he sent me a guide track, and so I sang along to the guide track, and after 5 or 6 takes, I got one that was all the right notes, or at least mostly the right notes. And so I put it in place, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, wow, I do not like the way this sounds. And I couldn't put my finger on it until like the 3rd or 4th time I heard it, which was, it was a completely different tone of voice. The rap was my usual rap DJ voice, and the chorus was very nasally, hooray for new math, and it was just
it's so simple that only a child can do it.
Yeah, and like the two things just did not work together, and I was like, all right, I'm going to re-record it again. So I went back to Chris's original thing, and I just did it again, and I tried giving myself a little more attitude this time, trying to do more of the DJ voice, and I'm like, even if the notes are a little more off, at least the attitude is right. And so after another 5 or 6 takes, I finally got one where it was like, okay, well, the beginning of this take is good, the middle of this take is good, and the end of that take is good, so let's do some cut and paste. Got those things together and got it in place, and I'm finally got a take that I liked. And I sent it to Shoebox, and I sent it to Chris, and they were like, yeah, this is much better. So it took a lot of doing, but I finally got the song done, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, not having heard all of the steps in between, you sent me, what was your final take, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Run with it.
I mostly just wanted you to hear the Common Core verse, because I'm really proud of that.
That hurts my brain.
I had to watch 4 different videos on YouTube on explaining Common Core to parents before I understood what was happening, and then was able to write that verse. So that was fun. The other thing I've been doing is I did an agent workshop the other day with my acting class. My acting teacher, one of the things I really like about him is he has a lot of connections in the industry, and he sets up these workshops with agents and managers and casting directors and things. And so because he's trying to get us, get our foot in the door and stuff. So we did a agent workshop the other day with 2 talent agents, and I did a scene where it was a blind date, where I'm on a blind date with a woman, and I kind of casually dropped that I'm the devil. And she's like, wait, you play hockey? You're on the New Jersey Devils? And I'm like, no, I'm the devil, Satan, Lucifer, and I'm just very casual about it. It's a really funny scene. And at the end of the scene, the 2 the 2 talent agents turned their cameras back on, and both of them were laughing their asses off. And I'm like, well, that's a good sign. It took them a good 30, 45 seconds to compose themselves enough that they could actually start talking to me about the scene. So fingers crossed that one of them will like me enough to, actually sign me. But it's kind of, with these type of things, it kind of depends, do they already have, 50-year-old white guys who can do comedy? Then they don't need me,
Do they have middle-aged, red-haired people who can do hip-hop?
Right, yeah, that's how I'm going to present myself. I'm like, do you have a red-headed rapper who can do comedy? Because that's different, Yeah, any 50-year-old white guy can do it, but can he rap? And does he have a red beard? That's the important thing. So, so wish me luck. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I did it. So where are you with Mario Wonder? Nobody else is here, so we're just gonna bullshit.
Yeah, I beat it. I beat all of the main parts of the game. I beat Bowser. I got all of the seeds, and I unlocked all of the worlds in the main part of the game. I have beaten only one of the levels in the special level.
Okay.
Up in the clouds. And I haven't had much time to go back to it since then because other stuff has been going on. But yeah, that game is so friggin' fun.
Yeah. So I finished the game. I beat Bowser, and then I went back through the levels, And I was like, all right, let me 100% this. And I went through, and it took me a little while to realize that like there's like this transparent check mark on the level that tells you if you've gotten everything. And so it took me, so I went through all the worlds. Like I had missed like 10 worlds in the desert area, like just 10 entire worlds.
They hit a lot out there.
So like I went through, I have now 100%ed all of the main levels. And just last night, I finally beat the last level in the special world, which is the last one that killed me. I don't know if you've seen videos of this one or if it's one of the ones that you've tried. Is the like Fluff Peaks Jump to the Beat? I think it's called.
Oh, that okay. So
oh my god!
The other version of that level, where it's like, you know, in the main part of the game. Like, that was the last one that I had to beat to get, like, the last seed I needed. Because I don't have 100% on everything on all the levels. I was just trying to make sure I found all the seeds and unlocked all the worlds. So, at some point I might go back and try to, like, you know, hit... you
have to get all the blue coins, and you have to get all the top flags, and all the secret exits to the worlds that have secret exits.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that thing was such a bastard, and I was just... Like, you know, it was like old school days, just over and over again. It's like, and I was wearing like headphones because I didn't want to disturb, my neighbors at the time. But like Hubert, you know, just like every 60 seconds, I'm just yelling, "God damn it!" Until I finally beat that level. And then when I got to the special levels and I saw they did another one that involves, you know, side wall jumping, I'm like,
so much harder.
Screw you.
Yes.
Absolute screw you. I've never been good at wall jumping in games like that because to me, it like violates the laws of video games. Like you shouldn't be able to jump off a wall. That doesn't make any sense in video games. You know, it's like,
that level is sadistic. It took that was the one that took me the longest. I did finally beat it the other day, and then last night I beat the piranha plant, like the boss level in the center of the special world, and then I was able to go up to the final challenge, which I have not beaten yet. So that's the last thing I have to do is that final challenge level. So, but do you know how to get what the hell are they? They're like medals, like on the pause screen, there's like 8 medals. I have 1. Like, what do you have to do to get other medals?
You got to go to all of the little places where guys are selling things and they sell them. You can buy them.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, I can do that.
I mean, I think some of them might not have been available for sale until you beat Bowser, but yeah, basically, you know, just go back to all the worlds and find wherever the little, you know, person with a stand selling stuff is, and like, you know, different ones will have have different badges, and that's how you get the rest of them.
Cool. The other thing, and then we can move on to music. Last week or the week before, a Mighty Magiswords video showed up on my YouTube suggested things, and I was like, oh, I'll watch that. It was one of the 5-minute ones. And I haven't seen all the 5-minute ones, so I was like, "Oh, cool!" So I watched it, loved it, and now like my YouTube feed is like every time I go, there's like a new Magiswords video. So it's like I'm watching Magiswords all over again, and I'm loving it.
Hooray! Yeah, when Agatha Vile and her family were here. You know, Agatha had seen some Mighty Magiswords, but the other 2 of them hadn't. So I selected a couple of episodes to show them of the TV series, just because, you know, those are the easiest ones for me to pull up on Amazon Prime. So yeah, it's you know. I missed the show so much.
You were talking about hating the wall jump. Mike Bolly in the chat wants to know how you feel about the double jump.
That also feels like weird and unnatural to
that
me.
One, I'm not sure if it's the same one he's talking about. The one where you just run off the end and then while you're in the air you jump. Yeah. That one messed me up so bad.
Well, there's that, and then there's also the fact that, like, and I'm pretty sure this came out of the Smash Brothers games, where it's like you jump in the air, and even though nothing's gonna under you, you just hit jump again, and you do another jump up from there. It's like, no, that shouldn't be a thing. It's like, why is that a thing? You know. So, but yeah, it's having the badges. Like Kyle said, that was an idea brought from a previous game, like one of the Paper Mario games. But I thought that was a really unique thing to add to
it was interesting. Yeah, I pretty much always stuck with the parachute hat, but every so often I went with one of the other ones.
Yeah, I think I stuck with the exclamation block one, so there'd be extra blocks wherever, and until I would get a level where I could tell, like, oh, obviously I need to be using this badge in order to more easily get through this level.
Yeah.
There's the one where it's like in the Super Mario Brothers 2 classic game, like each of the 4 characters, Mario, Luigi, Princess, and Toad, had a different like mechanic, like and like they all jumped differently.
Yeah, because Luigi jumped really high and floated, and then Peach could like
he would kind of
had like a parachute dress, and she would glide for a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, one of those badges is like the same as the Luigi jump from the Super Mario Brothers 2, where it's like you jump a little bit higher and you stay up a little bit higher, and your feet kind of kick in the air, and it's like that was one that I think I used a lot too, just because, especially on that bastard level with the jump to the beat thing, trying to beat that. So it's like I'm just getting video game PTSD thinking about how I still need to go back and try to beat that level. Because like I'll try it and I'm like, okay, this time I'm not going to give up. This time I'm not going to give up, and I'll do it like 5 or 6 times, and it'll be like, God damn it, and then I'll walk away.
Yeah. Well, the special world, it will not let you into that last level until you beat all of them and get all of the seeds. So you're going to have to do that if you want to get to that last world.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some music going.
Cool.
I'm guessing Jefferson will not be joining us, so we might as well just play his song. Here is Your Coffee Tastes Like Ass by Jefferson DeLeone.
Ass?
No! Ass!
Hey, Mr. Barista, your coffee tastes like ass. I think you poured this coffee from your grandma's denture bath.
Ass.
It's got overtones of armpit, bicycle seat, and grout, Vietnamese fish sauce, and hints of sauerkraut.
Ass!
Hey, Mr. Barista, I got something to say. I think this coffee came from an orangutan's bidet. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Your coffee tastes like ass. Hey, Mr. Barista, I need anti-nausea drugs, 'cause I suspect you might have dipped your man bun in my mug.
Yes.
This coffee fails my taste test, and it will never pass. So I added hazelnut syrup, now it tastes like hazelnut ass. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Your coffee tastes like ass. Hey, Mr. Barista, did you ever wash this glass? It's got whipped cream and caramel, but it still tastes just like ass. You make venti ass and grande ass and ass that is cold brew, but no one in the universe makes coffee worse than you. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Your coffee tastes like ass. Hey, Mr. Barista, I'm just giving you the facts. And trashing you on Yelp won't bring my stomach lining back.
Ass!
Don't want any free coffee, 'cause your coffee tastes like ass. I don't want a free cookie. Cause this coffee tastes like tossing the salad of a Wookiee.
Yes.
There you go. The return of Powered by Satan or Flibberty Gibbet. When I was in Rochester performing with Shoebox last year, I think it was when we were opening for Schaefer the Dark Lord and Lex, the Lexicon artist. He mentioned that Jeff was like supposed to be in town that weekend and he was going to be on the bill too. And then something happened and he either the dates changed or something else happened and he couldn't make it. But he was almost on the bill with us with in Rochester. Because he's originally from that area. I think he's either from Rochester or Buffalo. All right, let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
But it isn't too hard. I've got the Liar's Clue and the Vegas parody and some video game versions I can play on my screen. 24 and Buster says I like those properties and the Scout the Wand's Clue because I give the charities. Of course I have the movie and the documentary too. And this is for everyone who says I don't have a clue.
And in the end, when I was facing a fate worse than death, she became a wraith of joy and rescued me and set us free. Not bad for the first season of Molly McGee.
I mean, when it comes down to it, you kids are jiggy,
No.
crunk,
No.
trill,
No.
funky fresh,
No.
and stupid deaf.
No.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Now don't you bury that gauge. Bury that gauge at twilight. Boy.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, we've mentioned this before, but since the date has arrived, I figured I'd mention it again. Weird, the Al Yankovic story is going to be available on DVD and Blu-ray and other places coming up on the 12th, which is Tuesday. So just in time for Christmas, you could pick up the video on physical media so that when they invariably take it down off the streaming platforms, you can still have it. And the only other news I have is, as I mentioned, the Tom Lehrer album is so close to being released. I'm hoping to have the pre-order up on the website soon. I'm hoping to have it shipping by like Monday or Tuesday. I just got to get responses from a couple of these stragglers about the photos, and then we can be good to go. I listened to it twice yesterday while I was working on stuff. It's really good.
Oh, I'm so psyched for this album.
I
mean, like,
yeah.
I definitely want to, order. I mean, I'm ordering obviously at least one copy for myself, but in my mind, I'm like, God, how many more people do I need to buy copies of this album for? Because it's gonna be so good.
It is so good. It really is.
But like super immediately, like as soon as you have the first one or two copies done, like super immediately send it off to. I assume you're sending it to Jeff so he can send it to Tom Lehrer himself.
Yeah.
Please do that right away. I want him to hear it. And obviously Dr. Demento as well, but yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it always sucks. It's like, I mean, I want to get back into the groove of putting out, comedy music regularly. So it's like, yeah, I have no specific reason for a specific date, so I'll pick this date for for my cover of the Vatican Rag, and then I picked it, and then I realized, oh crap, it's right before Christmas, so chances are Dr. D's gonna not play it. He's probably not gonna play it and then forget to play it, because last week's episode was one of the, patch 'em up together shows about winter, from episodes from way past. So I don't know if he's going to play any non-Christmas songs for the next 3 weeks and then the Funny 25. So whether or not he chooses to play it in January, because I assume that, once it's January, he's going to want to play a bunch of tracks from this, even, among the ones he'll probably want to replay a bunch of the ones he's already played and then play a bunch of ones he hasn't heard yet.
Yeah.
But dang, it would be nice if he included mine amongst all of the brouhaha. So anyway.
All right.
I had a piece of news.
Go ahead.
I mean, because I'm a little bit late on this because I don't know. It's you get even when I'm trying to pay attention to pop culture, sometimes I don't get the full story on things, and then all of a sudden it's there in front of me like, oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so there are 2 movies on Netflix, both named Leo. I'm only talking about one of them. One of them is an animated feature made by Happy Madison Productions, which stars Adam Sandler as the voice of Leo, a 74-year-old lizard who lives in a tank in a classroom, along with Bill Burr, who plays his tank mate, a turtle. And the movie was written by Robert Smigel, who many of you would probably know more directly as Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. But he was one of the writers on Saturday Night Live with Conan O'Brien. He was the head writer of Conan O'Brien when he first started his show at NBC. And he's done a bunch of great stuff. He helped write the Hotel Transylvania movies, and he's very funny. So anyway, the point is, this movie came out, Leo. It's funny and it's a musical, and it's mainly Adam singing the songs, but there's a bunch of little kids in it too. But Robert Smigel wrote all the songs for this movie, and they even have the soundtrack on Spotify. So I just wanted to at least mention that because, hey, it's comedy music sung by Adam Sandler, written by Robert Smigel, and it's been getting a lot of good feedback. I mean, Robert Smigel appeared on Conan O'Brien's podcast last week, and they spent the first 5 minutes of the episode of just him doing Triumph ripping Conan O'Brien, and it's hilarious. And then by the end, they get around to talking about Leo, and Conan is just raving about how much he thought the movie was like funny, but also heartwarming, like in a way he didn't expect, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, comedy music, Adam Sandler, Robert Smigel, the movie's called Leo on Netflix, the one with the lizard, not the other one. So, yeah.
Okay. I almost forgot to do tour dates. So, tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. On Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 8th in Napa, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. The 8th and 9th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. The 15th in Oakland, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 17th online, Escape from the Secret Lab with the Consortium of Genius.
So before you get into the Shoebox interview, I just want to say, first of all, this song is amazing and hilarious, as pretty much dang near every Worm Quartet thing is. But you sent off an email. I'm not going to totally give it away, but you sent off an email to us in the FuMP Corps when you have the weekly email talking about business, and you always like to pitch ideas for music videos. And you said, I want us to do a video for the upcoming Worm Quartet Christmas song. In the style of a specific thing out there in pop culture. And I was like, oh, okay, that seems like a weird choice. And then I heard the song and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes complete 100% sense. I can thoroughly see why that would be the logical choice to go with visually. So, yeah.
So here is
I love
quite possibly the greatest Christmas song ever recorded. This is We Do a Christmas by Worm Quartet.
We do a tree, we do a star, we do a guy with that who'll bring you thing and also have a beard. We do a light, we do a snow, we do a milk that have an alcohol, and then we put an egg. We do a Christmas, we do a Christmas, we do a box, we do a bowl, we do a stupid Andy Williams song that never go away. We do a log, we do a ham, we do a half a barn up in the yard with Joseph and the rest. We do a Christmas. We do a Christmas. We do a Christmas. We do a Christmas. We do a gift. We do a tree. We know that already. We said the tree. We say the tree again. We do a tree. We do a tree. We do a what do you not like the tree? We really like the tree. We do a Christmas. 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 We do a Christmas.
I am here with Shoebox of Worm Quartet. How you doing, dude?
I seem to be... Oh, God. I'm sure there's an answer to that question. I don't know what it is.
Yes. So, before you say anything about your song, let me see if I'm on the right track here.
Okay.
So you're decorating your house, you're putting up your tree, you're putting the lights on the tree, and you're just prancing around the tree going, we do a lights, we do a tree, we do a Christmas. And then you're like, that needs to be a song. And then it was a song. How close am I?
We haven't decorated at all yet. I honestly have
damn
no
it.
idea. I have no idea where that came from. I mean, I really don't. I don't remember when I wrote it. It was very recent because it came out of nowhere, and I can't remember. I don't remember which day it was, but it was. I mean, it was days ago. It was last week that it was like, I think it was last week or maybe the week before. I was like, hey, here's a thing I could do, because I was planning on doing something completely different for my FuMP slot, and instead I accidentally wrote a new song. So whoopsie doodle.
Whoops. Yeah. They accidentally wrote the greatest Christmas song I've ever heard. So
thank you.
This deserves to be in, as high rotation as Feliz Navidad that gets on the radio these days. I mean, I want to hear this on the radio.
I was in Five Below yesterday, and I heard, I don't know, they must have had a CD, like a compilation CD called Worse Versions of Terrible Christmas Songs, because there was a version of Last Christmas that was actually worse than George Michael's. There was a version of Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time that was worse than Paul McCartney's. Not lying, it was genuinely worse. So what I want is for somebody, and I'm not going to name names because I'll piss somebody off. I want somebody to cover this and make it even worse than this, and get that played in Five Below, so I can go in there and hear some kind of, I don't know.
That was me. I get royalties for that. I got 17 cents for that.
Oh man, 17 cents. I'm almost there. I think I've been on Spotify for a few years now. I should be approaching that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hello.
So musically, what was happening here with this song?
Musically, let's see. As in, it's far more similar to how I thought it was going to sound than I thought I was actually going to be able to make happen. I had ideas, and what ended up making more sense, but I don't know. I didn't do. The drums are programmed. Everything else is live keyboards. I just found the proper way to bang on them with the proper noises to make that happen, and the proper chords seems like too nice of a word for what they are, but yes, sequences of finger presses that were slammed into the keyboards to make those things. So yeah,
okay.
That is what it sounded like in my head for the most part. Yeah.
And now we know what the inside of Shoebox's head sounds like.
All the time. Even in July.
What's neat about this song is you can apply it to everything. Like we do an egg, we do a basket, we do an Easter. I mean, you can do all the holidays. You could do.
It's a Christmas song.
You could do a song about a meeting at work. We do a slide. We do a PowerPoint. We do a meeting. We do a donuts. You could apply to everything. It's great. It's a very versatile song.
I mean, yeah, you could, but I think if you did that, I think everyone would be in the meeting would be like, "What? That sounds more like a Christmas song. Why are you singing that? It doesn't make sense." Personally.
Yes. Well, we always Christmas songs spice up meetings.
Always.
So who are these other people you roped into being on this song?
That would be Thunk Thunk Thunk. They're Scandinavian, and yes.
That answers that.
They've been around forever.
They're Scandinavian. That explains everything.
They're currently hard at work on their third album, Thunk Thunk Thunk's Greatest Hits Volume 5. It's been unreleased for the last 12 years or so, I think. I think they might have put something on the Sideshow at some point, like a long time ago. But they're. I mean, if you're gonna do a Christmas song, you gotta have Thunk 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 involved.
Okay, sure. I'll keep them in mind for my next Christmas song.
The Scandinavian,
Yes, you said that. It explained everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to go take Darren to swim, and you have to go catch a plane. So we're gonna wrap this up. Do you have anything you'd like to
plug? New Jersey.
Yes.
No. Except you're starting from New Jersey, so you're cheating.
Yeah, I'm closer to New Jersey than you are. because I'm
Right.
so.
By a factor of it. Okay.
So plug stuff.
Plug stuff. Okay. Yeah. How convenient was that right there? Carpe Tedium is my new CD. It is out right now. I'm calling it a CD because that's all I have right now. I have CDs and I have tapes. The vinyl is forthcoming. I've listened to the test pressing. It sounds good. They should exist hopefully next month, unless something truly horrible happens, at which point you'll know because you'll hear me screaming from New Jersey.
I'm sure we will.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, and thank you for having me. And tell Luke the Vatican Rag is his take on the Vatican Rag is awesome.
Will do. He'll hear this, so you just did because
Did I? Okay.
Something time delay. I don't know.
All right. Edit out all the other stuff I said about him then.
Okay, we'll do.
Awesome.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Did you hear the end of that interview?
Yes, I did.
Okay. After we stopped recording, I was like, okay, that's going to make Luke really neurotic now. All right. Feedback. All of this feedback came in the form of YouTube comments. So, A-Log wrote, I can still see Luke doing a cover of the Masochism Tango for another album or so. Besides, since the man's songs are under the public domain now, why not? Okay. I think there's something, I'm missing something there because I don't fully understand what he means by that. Because you've
think
done
I
the
had said
cover.
during my... Hello?
Yeah, you've done the cover.
Oh. No, he said Masochism Tango, not the Vatican Rag.
Oh, Vatican. Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was saying I originally was going to do Masochism Tango, and then Bonnie said she was going to do it, or she wanted to do it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do Vatican Rag instead. So, I mean, if I could still cover the Vatican Rag if I wanted to, but at this point, I'm kind of like,
You mean the Masochism Tango? Yeah.
That's what I mean.
See, we're both doing it now with the thing and the songs that we're getting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hamner Hack wrote.
What did he write? Just fucking say it. I've got gravy to deliver.
I think Tom Lehrer's A Christmas Carol would have been a great song to do with as many fumpers as possible as a choir. I wish we thought of that like 8 months ago. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Also, by a weird coincidence, Andy Merrill, a.k.a. Brack, posted on his social media him and his ukulele, as Brack doing a cover of Tom Lehrer's A Christmas Carol. And I shared that video to the Facebook page of the MarsCon Comedy Music Track. So
cool.
Go look for that. It's neat.
And Madman wrote, I am among those who number one Spotify artist was Luke. After listening to an album, I would add 5 or so tracks to a regular playlist, so I would not be surprised to see Luke in my top 5 of 2024 and would expect others to do the same. Weird Al finished number 3 for me, and I got the thank you, so it might be for the top 5. The George Carlin track I most remember is I Was a Christian Until I Reached the Age of Reason.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken. Oh, and I looked into those the Spotify videos. Turns out we could have recorded videos for the fans. Like, if you go to artist.spotify.com to manage your artist account, there was like a beta feature of like, you can upload videos and they would show it to anyone who had you as like their number one artist. And I think what they did was like, they just kind of went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, if your number one artist didn't have a video, they checked your number 2 artist. If they didn't have a video, they went to number 3, which is why I got the Ailstorm video because you were my number one artist, but you didn't make a video. And so I think Ailstorm was number 2. So that's why I got the Ailstorm video. But like, if had I known that schlubs like you and me could have recorded videos like this, I would have done one, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at the time I got that info, I was like literally sitting, in Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. I could have done a really cool video in Batu, you know. Maybe get some stormtroopers to arrest me. I don't know.
Maybe next year. But I think I know Spotify reached out to Weird Al because there's an article because his video went viral. And there was an article about it that I read today where Al said that his manager told him that Spotify wanted him to make a video. So he was like, okay, sure. And he just did it as a goof. And there you have it.
Yeah. It's like, what did you expect?
Right.
Also, I realize for the most part, it's probably just a joke, but I'm really curious if that $12 couldn't possibly have been it for him.
No. That was a joke. He was just exaggerating. And he did say that in the article. But some people have done the math because Spotify pays out 4/100ths of a cent for each stream. I think it is. It's 0.004, whatever that is. Or 0.4 of a cent, I guess, for each stream. And somebody did the math and it's like, oh, that comes out to this many millions of dollars because he had 80 million streams. And I jumped in very quickly and said, no. That's the total amount that Spotify pays to Al's record label. The record label takes a probably substantial cut. The other publishers involved in Al's songs also take a cut. So Al gets
the ones that are parodies.
Yes. Al gets a portion of that entire amount. I mean, it's more than $12, but it's still probably $1 million or several $1 million, but it's people were figuring, Al made, $30 million off of the streams. And it's like, no, because he only gets a portion of it. But
So just to make sure I'm understanding what's happening in pop culture correctly, is this the reason why Taylor Swift has been re-recording all of her old albums and putting out each of the songs or each of the albums and calling it parentheses Taylor's version so that she can tell her fan base, hey, only listen to the streams of Taylor's version because that way I directly get this money, not the old labels?
Yeah,
okay,
and
cool.
That's exactly what it is. And she's not the first one to do that. I believe it was either Bon Jovi or Motley Crue. It was one of those hair bands from the 80s when Spotify first started. Like, their record label, I want to say they wouldn't let them put the music up on streaming. And, like, the band didn't own the masters, so they couldn't put them up. But they owned the songs, so they could re-record them. And that's what they did. They re-recorded all their albums and put those up on the streaming platforms. So they're getting 100% of all of that money. So it's like the FuMP royalties. When I pay you, I get all the FuMP streaming money, and I keep 15% of it, and you get the other 85. So I get 15% of 0.04 of a cent for every stream.
So you're getting like 12.24. Or so
something. Yes,
you can get like extra mustard on your sandwich.
I can. Well, let's figure this out. 0.004 times 0.15 is 0.0006. So 6/100ths of a cent per stream I get to keep.
So I just went to look at my Songcast royalties, which I literally haven't looked at since I stopped uploading the albums. It says my current balance is $113.94. So that's interesting. I'm curious how much of that is like people full on like, buying my albums on like iTunes or whatever, because, I get like a good $7, if people buy them that way. So that's probably mostly from those type of purchases rather than from streaming.
You'll have to look at the reports, but we do make a decent amount of money on streaming, actually. I mean, most of it comes from Lemon Demon, but it if it's under $1,000 a month coming from Songcast going to the FuMP, then I'm surprised. But again, most of that just goes to Lemon Demon. So, all right.
Yeah, just scanning.
That's all the feedback we got.
All right.
Are you pulling up your report now?
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to zip down it. Yeah, it looks...
You might have to like download it and then sort it by, amount to see if anything other than the streams.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's wrap up the show.
All right.
Whatever's next.
Whatever's next. Teasing. Teasing is next.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Your Dad. And
Yay.
we are supposed to have a bonus Sunday slot. And
Tuesday song is not yet posted.
And other than the Sunday slot, the rest of the songs up until Christmas are all Christmas songs. Or at least that's what the artists have told me. So if anything's not, then it's on them. And Sunday song might be a Christmas song. It's not posted yet, so we'll see what he's going to do. And Spotify playlist, just going to keep going with Christmas until Christmas comes. And that's it. I don't know if Jeff has a new website. He used to be at poweredbysatan.com. You know what? Let me see if he put it in his artist profile on the FuMP, because that's what he's supposed to do. Yeah, jeffersondeleone.com. All right. So you can go there and see him. And Worm Quartet is at wormquartet.com. And if you haven't already picked up Carpe Tedium, do it. It's a phenomenal album. All right. Yeah. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and Worm Quartet was here.
And Jefferson wasn't.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
We have a bear. We have a bear. I said the bear 2 times because we need to have a second bear. We have a tree. We have a tree. We have a bear who likes to eat the bees and boys and go, ah!